What screams, "I'm middle class," when there are people behind you and in front of you in the classroom? A plastic bag filled with more plastic bags. Thinking that your dad owning a 70,000 piece of shit boat and your mom spending $175 per haircut makes you upper class. All while living in a McMansion house in a cookie-cutter neighborhood and being in debt up to their eyeballs. Caring whether you're lower middle or upper middle class. I tell people I don't care about class. Secretly suspect I'm actually upper middle class. But am middle class in reality. Extra medium. Having a second, older refrigerator in your garage that you only use for storing beers. Dude, I also keep white wine in there and the occasional Coke. Debt. Depends on what kind of debt you're talking about. Bad debt like credit cards, huge car loans, etc. Absolutely middle class and somewhat upper middle. Good debt, like mortgages, loans on an investment property, business loans, etc. That's more upper middle and upper class, folks. My dad said you only ever loan money for a house, not for a car, not for anything else, because the price of land will go up, whereas with almost anything else it will go down. Pronouncing your last name spelled B-U-C-K-E-T, bouquet. Having a live, laugh, love sign in your house. That's pretty lower class. Nobody wants to believe they're poor, but there wouldn't be a middle and upper class without a lower class. Lower class people make these signs out of whatever materials they can find and sell them to middle class people at intersections. Poor people know they are poor. They don't have these things. Saying you are broke while wearing name brand clothing. That's trashy people, not middle class. Yoga pants and 2 kids while sipping on a $10 coffee from Starbucks. Screaming, "I'm middle class." Quote. As the driver of a Honda Civic, maybe a brand new one, but those things last forever. A late 90s Civic with 200k on it is affordable to almost anyone, as cars go, and will get you where you're going. Being in debt due to large luxury expenses, cruises, oversized house, college for unmotivated, dumb kid, and looking down on those who are in debt due to small luxuries. Cigarettes, hair weaves, soda. Having a 2-car garage but not being able to park your car in it because you have years' worth of Christmas decorations and lawn tools stored in there. Driving a Tesla Model 3. A full pantry. I have a couple less advantaged friends and one saw the inside of my pantry and was like, "Y'all have food in there." I should have sent him home with a box of cans and snacks. I swear wealthy people have less food in their house because they eat out, get takeout more frequently. Source. Born into money and grew up in a ritzy suburb. My family and I are from a pretty wealthy area. Before COVID, we typically didn't keep much in the house besides staples. Not because we eat out a lot, we're wicked health conscious, but because we grocery shop daily for what we're going to eat for that day. Saying you have no money while going on multiple vacations a year, when you can't be bothered to work an extra day for $100. But spending $100 in one day still hurts you. Your average middle-class family will typically make $200 a day per work day. Till I'm not middle class. Middle class has a lot of range. I think it would come out to anywhere from $130 a day up to $300 per day. Assuming 5-day work weeks with a few holidays off. Asterisk, roughly asterisk. Everyone wants to be middle class. Poor people want to be middle class so they don't feel bad about themselves. They'll quote their gross income plus Christmas bonus, if they have one. To beef it up, rich people start talking about take-home income and leave out bonuses, stock options, 401k contributions to try and lower it, making them seem more middle class. They don't want to view themselves as rich or be seen that way because they see others with so much more and assume those must be the rich stuck-up people. Politicians, media use the term middle class and don't define it because they know people will assume they're included in that group even if they really aren't. Mid-sized sedans and houses in the suburbs. Doing your own yard work. I actually like doing my own yard work. It's the only exercise I get. Overspending on status symbols. Phones, name brand clothes, gaming systems, other luxury items, so that you project wealth in your family, fits in, when it is financially damaging to do so. Owning that one Louis Vuitton handbag and carrying it everywhere is so middle class it hurts. Gaming systems can be status symbols but usually are to get +5 FPS in games. Spending all your money on frivolous things then complaining about how broke you are. But those CSGO skins have value. Shopping in Waitrose. Not existing in 2020. Mediocre house with a 30-year mortgage that's not even close to being paid off in a $60,000 SUV. Sitting out front. Like, pay off and own your house before you go buy stupid shit you don't need. WTF is wrong with people? I've seen new C7 Corvettes sitting in front of trailer park houses around here. This has always baffled me. A $60K new car depreciates rapidly. Your home is hopefully holding steady or gaining in value. Or at the very least you're gaining equity and avoiding rent. We do buy some stuff we don't need. But fancy new cars are a really expensive way of having a few luxuries in your life. You can have either but not both. 1. A vehicle that's pretty cool right now. But in 10 years, it's not going to be worth much and it'll be outdated and no longer cool. 2. Own your house in a few years. By own, I mean completely pay it off with no mortgage. You no longer have to worry about a lot of things in life if you pay off and own your house. But I see people choose option 1 time and time again. Yep, a key component to one is choosing a house you can actually afford, is below your means. Obviously a lot easier in lower call areas. Even with the luxuries we splurge on. I expect we'll have the house completely paid off in under 10 years unless we sell it. We have a truck with 300k miles on it. A car with 200k miles. Both are actually great vehicles. Still going strong. Here's the irony about what you're saying, though. I bought a small house in an okay, not great, neighborhood for really cheap. It's a fine house for me and it's in a great location. So because I bought a house well within my means, I've been able to save a lot of money for toys and luxuries. My current car, which I own outright, actually cost a little more than half of what I paid for my house, and by the time I'm ready to buy my next car I may have enough saved up to pay in cash for a car that will cost even more than my current car. While you live where the middle class can afford a home, lucky, it's not automatically a good decision to pay off your home early. Especially if you have a fixed-rate mortgage at 4% or so. I try to stay out of politics. Starbucks or third wave coffee. Target. House in the suburbs. Newish car. Vacationing at Disney. Gym memberships. Summer camps. Craft beer and bottled wine. Basically having a modicum of nicer things but not really rich. By contrast, the poor are more likely getting coffee at home, going to Walmart, apartment or trailer, old shite car, vacationing in the backyard if at all. No money for gyms or summer camps. Budweiser or box wine. Holy fuck, I'm poor. Thinking you're living on the edge. But you buy products made by Chinese people who earn almost no money, instead of products that cost more and are of higher quality because you want to get something now. Pocket money. Using your old t-shirt as a rag doormat. Giving the kids a car on their 18th and the kids not batting an eye as though it's normal. That's not a character of specifically the middle class though. That's just anything that's not the working class and lower middle class. So basically any family with an income of like 50k plus. This thread is asking for middle-class specific things, which would be things like overspending and going into debt on nice cars and expensive keepsakes, while owning absolutely nothing of actual value that stores wealth besides a house that you are 30 years away from paying off and keep refinancing and taking the equity back out of. Driving several hours away to take a 5-day vacation. Eating cereal in your hotel room for breakfast, but going out for dinner. It's nice, but not too nice. Being too rich to get free help and too poor to afford help. Endlessly keeping up with the Joneses. Crushing debt. Michael Kors. Minivan. That's so 90s. Man. Nowadays middle class is all about having a compact SUV. His. And a crossover. Hers. And calling it two different names despite being the same car in every measurable way. Maintaining your yard yourself as well as cleaning your house yourself. Buying a certified pre-owned car. Buying counterfeit AirPods. And defensively telling everyone that they're not genuine. Whenever anyone comments on the monsieur, I'd rather buy alternatives than counterfeits, which is what I did. Buying the biggest TV you can afford. Without considering the size of your living room, monsieur. Now you've got a huge-ass TV. But the room isn't large enough that you can sit at a comfortable distance to watch it. Good that my family members bought theirs at the correct size, as it's pretty comfortable to look at from the couch. Shopping at Target. Contributing to your 401k. A new SUV. Home ownership. Growing up in a house full of books. Not necessarily. We got tons of free books and hand-me-down ones from the older family members. Also curbside after-yard sales. And the local libraries and schools' end-of-year clean-outs. We were poor, but our family placed a strong emphasis on education and reading. That and board games required no electricity, no cable, etc. You mean those things that cost about 50 cents at yard sales? Free. If you have friends with book-reading relatives. Those books. The point I'm trying to make here isn't about wealth. It's about having access to a huge amount of books in my own home growing up that my mom didn't have as a kid. I was raised by 2 secondary school teachers, so I spent years reading a weird mixture of stuff. Yes, second-hand books are cheap and libraries are amazing, but I'm so grateful for having so many books at hand as a kid. Greater than the point I'm trying to make here isn't about wealth. Then why are you making it in a thread explicitly about economic classes? Class isn't just about money, in the UK at least. In India, using the toothpaste to the last milliliter. ml. Also, not removing the lamination on a new TV and plastic cover of seat covers to let them look new. That's me to a T. My 12-year-old washing machine still has the protective plastic over the touchpad thingy. Some Indians would rather get injuries and scars than have their stuff look used. Source. Seen quite a few Indians like this. And I'm an Indian. A certified pre-owned Nissan Altima with a nice office job that has a good 401k. Owning a budget laptop, clothes from Walmart, and a used car. ITT, people who confuse lower-class situations with being too stupid to figure things out. Probably thinking that skilled tradesmen are lower class as well. ROFL, many make much more than office workers, but have icky jobs. A small plastic kiddie pool that stays out in the front yard for 3 months straight and only changing the water once a month. That's not middle class. That's poor white trash. Middle class has a nice in-ground in the backyard. Going on vacation, but not to visit relatives. Avoid the Motel 6 but instead stay at the Holiday Inn while your kids go crazy in the pool while you drink a bunch of gas station mimosas. Not Airbnb. Not having to worry too much about expenditure but not really living life to the fullest. Mowing your lawn. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.